begin to forget, where Tommy Atkins has been cremated, and Johnny is sitting outside the crematorium with the man from the British Legion, and he can see, and he alone can see, all the rest of the Blackberry pals walking up the driveway, and there they are as young men, and the ghost of Tommy Atkins leaves, and there's a slot for him to get into, and they all march away. And that was easy to do. You just need some marching men and a sepia tone to the picture and a bit of imagination, and it becomes absolutely wonderful. So that's why I like getting involved in these things.
Next question. And this actually came up in an earlier discussion we were having about jacket art. How old do you imagine Rincewind to be? I had always envisioned him as being in his late 20s or early 30s in The Color of Magic, but the actor who portrayed him in the BBC movie was much older. How much input did you have in the casting, and did the actor jive with your image of Rincewind? Your image of Rincewind.
Sky, not BBC.
Originally I thought that Rincewind would be something like late 20s, early 30s. However, if you're going to make something for a mass market, then you want to have an actor who is definitely going to pull in a viewership. You know that the fans are going to watch, you want other people to watch. And I'm quite hard-nosed about this. And also, David Jason, apart from being one of the most popular actors in Britain, has for years wanted to play Rincewind. So you have this guy that people would fall over themselves to get, saying, I really want to do this! You don't say no. And he did it well. And actually, even as an older Rincewind, that makes it so better. And he introduced stuff I wouldn't have thought of, a lovely bit where Two Flower is speaking to Rincewind. David Jason is eating a sandwich, and Rincewind offers him this huge amount of money, and he doesn't do anything at all except the bottom of the sandwich drops out. Rather like Bernard Pearson when someone has offered him a £10 note. Frozen look. And so we had a superb actor, a great comedy actor, who actually was fighting to take part. So you don't say no. And it didn't, and in the end, it didn't really matter. There's the books, and there's the films, and there they are.
All right. Is Rebo based on a real cat?
Yes. At last, the easy one. Rebo is based on the horrible Oscar. It used to be a cat in the little village where we lived. And we had a cat called Pushti, and she was very small and neat and female, and the horrible Oscar was always after her. And I remember with great fondness one occasion when I heard this lot of yowling, and she came round the corner with the horrible Oscar, who was a ginger Tom, hot on her heels, and she leapt onto the top of a water butt, which had a cap on it. And he jumped up after her, but she was ready, and I had never seen this before. She gave him a roundhouse blow. It was like a cat kung fu thing. Right across the nose. And you actually could hear his howl of pain. And I just loved that. And somehow out of that, Rebo came. Well, still the next question, yes, we have lots of cats. After a while, you don't consider cats as pets. They're just kind of part of what goes on in the house.
Probably. And, all right, here's another question. This fan writes, he knows that you've tried spinning and making a sword, and we all now also know about cheese. But what other crafts have you had a go at?
Like that isn't enough. I've done a lot of things but badly, you know, herbal making and stuff. It's my personal conceit that I'm good with my hands. Everything I've ever made shows me up to be a liar. I really look back. I mean, these days, you know, I've got incredibly powerful computers, and I have the faintest idea of what's really going on in there. And I look back longingly to the days when I used to do a lot of electronics, whereby my programming language was solder. And I would take something like an old ZX81 and a load of old printed circuit boards, and I'd look up the TTLs and find out what you could do with them. And I built all kinds of weird stuff based on a tiny, it was called the Timex 1000, I think, over here. And it was a very small computer because they took away from it everything that you thought a computer needed, like some means of saving things, a screen, but the point is you could add all kinds of stuff to it. And I actually ended up building the computer used a spec to run all this. It was a weather program, and I had to design and build my own thermometer. And get up in the morning, and as I walked into the bathroom, it was triggered. They used to say, "Good morning, Terry." It spoke like Stephen Hawking on television. You had to put in the phonemes. You know, the temperature, the minimum temperature last night was, maximum temperature expected today is. I've made that one up because I haven't got any prescient software at that time. It was a marvellous thing to do because the whole thing was just a vast collection of I/O ports. It had nothing better to do with itself. It made very nice noises like those soothers you go to sleep by that keep you sound. I actually programmed wave sounds and things like that. I always wondered about, you know, the bookstone people sell these things. You know, you play them at night and they help you go to sleep. It's got running water, sound machines. So, are there ones for people in New York with sirens going? They moved out to the country and here's people shouting at one another and gunfire. You see, you know, I thought the idea first, okay? Just expand this, you know. Maybe, you know, you actually like living in Beirut and now you've moved away. It's so quiet that you just can't get to sleep.
It did take a while getting used to when I moved from Manhattan out to the country.
First time, actually, at the very end of the 2000 tour, which by comparison with anything else I've done in the US to that point, it was a huge success. I remember lying there snugly in the hotel, and all you could hear was sirens, snarling, like cats snarling, and you know, the voice in my head said like cats snarling at one another in the darkness, in the canyons of the night, because you could hear them as the cop cars were going up and down. Because the noise was coming from all different directions. It was as if someone was